here to discuss what we see as the most significant dangers of Proposition 36, specifically with regard to how crucial community safety and well-being services stand to be affected if this proposition passes. Since 2015, service providers across the state have utilized funds and resources allocated by Proposition 47. California voters embraced a vision that sought to empower localities and communities to invest in unique programming and infrastructure to help those most vulnerable. This funding goes to programs that have provided housing services, mental health care, substance use disorder treatment programs, and job training for people who have been arrested or incarcerated, which makes our communities healthy and more stable. Over the past decade, organizations like the Los Angeles County Office of Diversion and Reentry, or ODR, which LARRP helped establish in 2015, have implemented novel approaches to community-supported care beds and mental and physical health support for vulnerable Californians. These programs include projects like Project Impact, which is designed by the Los Angeles Mayor's Office of Reentry, which provides employment, behavioral health, and legal services to improve employment outcomes and reduce future criminal justice system involvement for men of color. Another program, the LA County Reentry Integrated Services Project Reentry Intensive Case Management Services, or RICMS, links people with prior criminal justice system involvement to community health workers aimed at improving their well-being and keeping them out of the criminal justice system. Together, these and other programs have helped move thousands of individuals into community-supported programs, delivering extremely positive outcomes for these individuals and their communities. Unfortunately, Proposition 36 threatens to undo this progress by gutting funding for these successful programs. Keeping an individual in California incarcerated is expensive, and as noted, can cost upwards of $130,000 per year in a state prison. If Proposition 36 were to pass, the LAO stated that it estimates both the number of incarcerated individuals would increase, and so would the needed support staff to handle these new incarcerated individuals, including prison staff, jail staff, and court staff. In a time when the budget is already a challenge to balance, why would we take money away from proven diversion and reentry programs and spend even more to lock people up? These funds will be spent in one of two ways, either by investing in effective wraparound services to get folks the help they truly and successfully need to integrate into society, as we have for the past decade, or by locking folks up and not taking proactive steps to bring them back to their homes, families, and communities. Service providers are able to take already earmarked funds and fundamentally change people's lives for the better, rather than funding a system with the sole intention of punishing the incarcerated population without helping rehabilitate them. For nearly a decade, service providers have been working to understand the complex contracting and grant requirements in order to help thousands of justice-impacted individuals return to their families, secure stable housing, and find gainful employment, as well as contribute meaningfully to society. This progress would be impossible if we choose to invest in more jails instead of expanding diversion and reentry services. Proposition 36 is a regressive step that sacrifices the long-term achieved progress of our network of 500 service providers for short-term and costly changes at the expense of our taxpayers, our communities, and the most vulnerable populations. Money spent on prisons does not help rehabilitate individuals who have committed crimes, nor does it benefit the communities who are most impacted by over-policing. Sending more low-level offenders to jails and prisons only serves to further disenfranchise them, creating a feedback loop that bars them from receiving the care and services needed to successfully return home to their communities. Proposition 36 is not an investment in the people who need it most, but rather an investment in the walls that keep them from being the people we know they can be. I am here on behalf of more than 500 service providers in the Los Angeles Regional Reentry Partnership Network across the entire state of California to stand steadfast with the community organizations that have helped work tirelessly to implement successful, fiscally responsible, and practical programs and services to the justice-impacted community, and I urge you to do the same. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Seeing no comments, we'll go on to our next speaker. Tanish Hollins, Executive Director